Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's May 29th of 2023, and it's about 7:30 a.m. in the morning. I think I mentioned in maybe the last video that I was going to move the camera, and that's what I've done. That's the Avery Media camera. Let's see if we're going to... No, that locks it that way. Let's see if we move it down here a little bit. Whoops. Okay. I think that's better. I made a video last night. Well, I didn't make a video. I didn't hit the start, so I made an entire video. It wasn't real long, but I made one. And bummer. I hate that when I do that, when I put some effort into making one. So let's see. Let me go to trying to think where I want to go. Well, I think maybe I'll just tell you. No, it's something for another day. It's nothing important. I made some good points, but now I don't feel like I'm in the mood. I'm looking at my video here that's on the desktop, and thinking about zooming in a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Anyway, this computer here is the Windows 11. This computer here, for this is the Dell one I got for refurbished for $200. And over here is the Windows 10 computer, that's running. Right now it's not, and it doesn't really matter to me. It's not upgradable. This computer doesn't have what Microsoft says it needs to have. Okay, let me look here at the last video I made before this was about that we lost the internet for a short period of time. And it was like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. I went outside and looked, and I could see the repair truck across the street outside the apartment complex. And with, they have the truck, and then they have the thing in the back, with a bucket, so the guy can, and he was working on the problem. He fixed it. By about the time I walked back over here, it was just about fixed. I guess I do want to mention something, but I don't want to go into detail. It's a video that I made. I get almost nothing from people watching my YouTube videos. And I'm talking about months. It's less than $10 that I get from, did I say Amazon? From YouTube. But the next amount of money I'm going to get is not going to be the normal like $10 that I get each month. There's going to be an extra $10. And that came from, let's see, is this going to show it? No. Videos. No, that's not going to show it, is it? Well, it's taking, where is it? Taking too long. Yeah, I don't see the data that I pulled up before on this. So normally I get about, or less, $10 a month from people watching, my site. But this coming month I'm going to get an extra $10. And that is because I made a comment about the raccoon whisperer guy, and I put a link to his to his site, and about 3,000 people. Now he didn't put any link to my site. I don't think he puts links to anybody's site except his own, where he's selling clothing or whatever. He didn't put a link, of course, to my site or anything. I'm not sure he puts a link to, I watched him. I was a fan and still a fan, and I check occasionally to see, how he's doing. But because he's got some health problems going on. But fans of his, because they're fans of his. When I made a video that had a comment about him, some of those people, I'm guessing about 3,000, maybe a little more, they were informed, hey, you like the raccoon whisperer. And there was mention made or something. And so some of those people clicked on that and came to my site. Now, about a dozen of them, strangely, but I put it down that they're not too smart about, how the internet works and that type of stuff. Maybe very basic people, they found his site, and that's about it, and a few other sites. But because some of those people left a comment, how dare I attack, Jim, how dare I attack Jim, and he's a wonderful person and all that kind of stuff. I never attacked him. And so one, I think they're not too smart about how the internet and everything works. Now, there may be, and of course, some of the people, sort of attacking me. I don't care, but some of those people might be confused because they have a low IQ. Because I did the thing about him that, he had some medical problems, and but he was doing okay so far, and everybody's concerned about him. But then, because I do this sort of thing, and most of my videos and things that I make, down below, my comments and everything, I put a link to a site that, from a guy who's a person in Florida who works in the animal area or whatever, where he goes out on calls for alligators in somebody's swimming pool, or bees swarming someplace, and snakes and all this kind of stuff. So I put a link to his thing, and the reason I put a link to his thing was because he mentioned the raccoon whisperer, and he talked about in Florida how it would be illegal to feed raccoons, and then he talked about the reasons that of course he says the guy's doing a great job with the whatever, but the raccoon whisperer. But that in Florida, you would have to be really careful about that. And then he said too, here are he says, then he stopped talking about him. He said, if you feed animals, well, then if you have bears in the area, then those bears are going to come. You may want to feed raccoons, and he mentioned things, but then you have to understand that the bears may follow. So you have to be prepared for of that. Then he talked too about if you love these animals and everything, you have to realize that if they bite or scratch or do something to you, that the animal control will have to be notified, and they're going to come out and check for rabies. And I'm not sure if he said may or will, kill the animal in order to check for rabies. And then he indicated, if you call people, if you're calling the animal control people, if you call with a problem, they come out, do what they need to do, which is sometimes euthanize the animal and then if you call a second time, they come out, and then the third time they come out, they just take care of the problem by killing the animals. So he talked about things like that, and he was not attacking but it may be those people who came somehow thought that was me making that video or something. But even if it was, the guy was just informing people, that these animals come and they can do thousands of dollars worth of damage to your house or your neighbor's house, maybe, And I think he mentioned, that the raccoon whisperer, he lives up in Canada, out in the country a ways, but if you're, in a city and things like that, you may get sued, if you're feeding some type of animal and then it destroys your neighbor's house or something. So, but then shifting, so anyway, I'm going to get $10 extra this month, or because of the way the linking thing worked. And now I knew this, but I don't think a lot of I think there's a whole bunch of you that do know. But there are some, in my opinion, some really horrible people on YouTube. And I wish they weren't, using YouTube. But on the other hand, I can see where YouTube wants people to, make videos and get people to watch the videos. The longer somebody is watching the video, the more YouTube ads can be put, commercials can be put in there and make money for YouTube and make money for YouTubers sometimes. But which I already knew, but which this was a small sample. This shows me and other people. It might make it easier for them to understand. You see YouTubers, and I can't stand these people. And there's more than one, but there's one guy I can't even stand to look at. I can't even stand to look at him. And what they do is they say horrible, terrible things, and they say this about other YouTubers and other people, but other YouTubers, and they attack them viciously. And now in some cases, these other people, they may be traumatized by this. They may be, but it may really hurt them. And they may beg the person, please don't say bad things about me. Please don't say this, and whatever. And of course, that the other people then they just love that, and then they add on to that. But then also what happens, and because these other people, some of these other people, they know, hey, this is, I'm getting a whole bunch of, hits from people coming to say terrible things about me and to see what terrible things I say about the other. And the other person knows who starts this or whatever, he knows, hey, views coming big time views, because everybody, I forget the guy's name, or the guy that's way overweight. Well, he had the surgery done and everything like that, but there was people picking on him, and he was, answering back. Now he was actually, he had some problems, psychological problems. There was problems in his family, depression, all kinds of things going on. So when he was on YouTube, and I think he may still be on YouTube, I haven't seen him not on YouTube in a long time. But he was doing things like, telling people, hey, if you have these, get counseling, go to somebody who can help you. And we talked about with weight, what you can do and what you can't do. And then when he went through the surgery, he talked about all of that, what he had to prepare to go through, and the conditions that had to be met before he could have it. And I thought his YouTube videos were very positive for a lot of people. And but he was being viciously attacked. And he got married to an attractive-looking woman, and they were married for a while, and then they were divorced, and then there was, I think, hatred coming directed at him, and then I think there was, although I don't think she really was doing YouTube attacks directed at her, all this is generating traffic. And then he went to, I'm not sure if it was, well, I think he's on all the sites that you can think of, but he went to other venues, and I never really watched him on any of the other venues that he was on. But apparently, and he even admitted it, he talked about it on some videos that did pop up on YouTube again, where he went to the other places away from YouTube, and then he started doing stuff that was totally different than he did, like on YouTube. And I didn't watch all his videos, just a very few of them. But he did stuff that, he tried to help people and say, hey, I've had, such and such problems, and I've been through all these things, and you can get help and all that kind of stuff. Well, apparently when he went to the other venues, and I'm not sure if it was Facebook or Twitter or where he went, but he changed, and he, or I guess he was open and honest or whatever, and the stuff that he did was totally different. And then people noticed that, hey, he was this way on YouTube, and now he's, this other way, and he's admitting things, this and admitting that and this kind of stuff. And then there was I think he probably got more views, maybe less on YouTube, and all this kind of stuff, but a bunch of these people felt like, I think they had been misled, and that the real him was coming out. Now, I mentioned earlier there was a guy who's on YouTube and probably other sites too. And I can't even stand to look at this guy. He just, he's such a horrible person. And I don't think I think it really is a horrible person. I don't think that's just his thing, persona, that he's acting. I think he is a really horrible person. Now, so one of the guys that this guy attacks, he attacks everybody, this guy, and looks for any way he can to to stir things up and make people mad, and make people mad at him too. He doesn't care. The madder you get at him, the more you're going to leave, more you're going to come and watch him and leave hateful comments and stuff, and the more views he gets and more money he rakes in. Now, I forget now if he's the guy, but it was one of the people that I think was part of this clique. And maybe the same guy. The overweight guy. He lives, I think, in Arkansas, I believe it is. Maybe Oklahoma, Oklahoma, something like that. So this other guy, and with others in there also to stir things up, attacking this overweight guy. He's just trying to make money and doing it, making some money to support himself with YouTube and other things that he does, So, the overweight guy or whatever is like, please just leave me alone. You do what you want to do, but I'm just trying to, make a living here, take care of my dog and do such and such and stuff. So this other guy starts making threats, says, I'm going to come down to, let's say it's Arkansas. I'm going to come down to the town where you live, and I'm going to go and, I forget what, he's making threats. I'm going to come down there. And the overweight guy, can't remember his name, the name that he uses or whatever, but says, hey, I've got psychiatric problems. I take, psychiatric drugs. I see a psychiatrist. My life, and he's talking, in the past, he talked about his childhood and everything. It was not good. Couldn't have been much worse. And he says, just please leave me alone. And then the guy keeps threatening that he's going to come down. And then the guy comes down to the city where the overweight guy lives. And he sends video from the local shopping mall, live streaming video. And, to this guy saying, I'm at your shopping mall now, and I'm going to come and break your door down. I'm going to do such and such, and I'm going to tell the world that you're a faggot, and I forget what other things he used, I'm going to tell them all that. I'm going to tell them everything. I'm going to do it. And the guy is, the overweight guy is, please, I have a lot of medical problems. I have a lot of problems. Please just leave me alone. Leave me alone. You can do what you want to do, whatever. You're right. Whatever it is, you're right. Just leave me alone. Please leave me alone. So this guy goes to this overweight guy's house. Guy lives in a nice neighborhood, has a nice house. And he is sending video from out, he's on the porch. He's pounding on the overweight guy's door. Come out, you faggot. Come out, you. And he calls him every kind of thing, come out. You're, whatever. And the guy's inside saying, please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go away. And so the guy's still outside the door, pounding on his door, yelling and screaming, calling him all kinds of names. So the guy inside gets his gun, goes to the door, and I don't know, I didn't watch any of this, just I saw some little tiny clips. But the overweight guy goes to the door, opens up the door, has a gun, and he shoots it off in the air. And the guy disappears, leaves. I'm not sure if he was involved with the police, in pressing some kind of charges, or if he just got out of town. I'm not sure what the deal is. I might have heard a tiny bit of it. Because I did see where a little bit of clips of where the overweight guy got arrested. He went to the police station, and with his being so overweight and having psychological problems and all that kind of stuff, he had to get a lawyer, and he was having all kinds of problems, and he was terrified that he was going to end up in a cell with other prisoners, who were going to no telling what they were going to do to him, all that kind of stuff. So he spent a lot of money, and unfortunately for him, when he fired off that one round with the gun, there was a school not across the street and not, I don't think, 2 blocks away, someplace where the police said that he fired a gun, in the vicinity of and they were going to, he was looking at possible serious charges against him. And so anyway, he paid the fines and was on probation for like a year or something. And, but, after a year, and this goes to show, after a year, he came out with the picture of him shooting the gun off in the air on T-shirts and stuff like that, and was selling those. So even when I want to be sympathetic to the guy, but he's just, if you got rid of these people off of YouTube, it wouldn't solve any problem. Well, YouTube views would probably go down, and YouTube's, income would probably go down, and that would affect some people. It's, I might have had a little tiny bit to do with the very beginnings of all of this internet and live streaming and all this kind of stuff. And I think I'm sorry. Sorry that I had any part in the very beginning of it, because it is just crazy what people are doing, and the things you hear about people dying, accidentally. When you hear about people, getting a selfie or whatever and falling off a cliff or stepping in front of a train or something or other, if you hear about all types of people being harassed, young people even being harassed and committing suicide and stuff because of what people are saying about them on the internet. So, but back to my point. That shows, though, what these people, it doesn't matter because you're not going to pay any attention, but these people that buy into this stuff of people fighting with each other and hating each other and all this kind of stuff that they come up with, it's too bad that those people, take the worst of the worst, it's too bad they can't be taken, off of the, refused the ability to make any money or something rather. Because they're doing that just to, I'm getting $10 extra because of 3,000 viewers who came to look at my video where I mentioned the raccoon whisperer. But these other people are doing this, and they're raking in major dollars, money. So they're going to keep it, they're going to keep it up. And So that just gives you a little bit of idea how the thing works. Now, there were several people that, those, I don't know, 10 or 12 or whatever, that left a comment. How dare you attack the raccoon whisperer? It seems like I'm emphasizing that is because I said raccoon guy or raccoon man or something like that. I had several of those people. He's not called the raccoon man. He's called the raccoon whisperer or whatever the fuck he's called. And maybe I should mention again because I think I mentioned in the videos that my ex-wife Darlene, she's big into animals, especially cats, because there's cats here, feral cats that we feed, and then we have a cat, and she loves cats, but she loves animals. And I think she found that site, I think, and told me about it, and I started watching it, and then our grown son, he started watching it. I think all of us eventually got tired of it because there's so much out there, and I'm interested in other things. But it just goes to, show you. So how long has this been? Let me click on this. 31, okay, 30 minutes, that's not bad. And thank you very much for watching.